Hello, everyone. Marty Chinesky here, along with Joel Atkins, and this is out of whack. I got to get this off of here. I am your host. We are your hosts of Local Sports Wrap Up this week. Ken is busy coaching and chasing his kids around in softball and baseball. Today is the 23rd of April. Joel,
Yep.
Odds Jones, stepping in, doing us all a favor,
right.
giving us the inside scoop on the hockey games that are going on in the world. How you been? Haven't seen you in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Good. Busy. Yeah. Very busy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of research has to be done in the hockey games.
It sure does. It sure does. Unless you just, unless you like losing. Yeah.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
Do your research.
That's how my account goes on my little Caesars app. It just goes down into the abyss.
You know what? That's like natural ebb and flow. There's losing streaks. There's winning streaks. You can't get too high or too low emotionally.
And the playoffs started for
Yeah.
the NHL. The Wings actually tied for the last spot, but lost the tiebreaker. And as I was telling my daughter, any one of those games, that you have a lead with 2-3 minutes to go, and the other team pulls their goalie and ties it, and then that other team beats you in overtime. Well, there were a few of those throughout the year.
Yeah, I think fair enough argument to say the Wings did it to themselves. The only problem I had with that scenario is the tie-break rule. Had the Red Wings and the Capitals had the same amount of points and the same amount of wins, I would say, okay, I don't have a problem with your first tiebreaker being regulation wins. But that wasn't the case. They had the same amount of points, and the Red Wings had one more win overall. How is that not the first tiebreaker?
What was the first tiebreaker?
Regulation wins.
Ah. Wow.
So it's brought up a bit of a debate if the NHL should go to a 1-2-3 point format.
Like they do in the juniors. They use 3 if you get a straight win.
So we'll see if any changes come of this, but to me it kind of felt like, and not just because I am a Red Wings fan, I would argue these days I'm more of a hockey fan than anything. So I felt it was wrong that I think the wrong team got in.
Yeah, I mean, they beat them head-to-head a week
They did.
before.
Yeah, they did.
Unfortunately, that game come down to
Yeah.
meaning something. Big weekend football. The draft starts Thursday. The clock's running down over there at Campus Marcis.
Yeah.
Been counting down since probably November. There was a big clock out there. And I might take a trip down there one of these days. I'm not sure. Heck, maybe when we get done tonight, I'll go down there in the rain. No one will be there.
That's a better time to do it with the construction and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Thursday, big day for a lot of football geeks. I never cared much for the draft. I mean, I care for it, but I never cared. I wouldn't know in research who should go ahead of who.
Well, and I think to really get into the drafts, you have to follow the college game,
Yeah.
or you need to know who the top prospects are and what teams' needs are. Otherwise, it's kind of lottery numbers really. But I think where it interests me is, I mean, obviously now the Lions are they're on the cusp of potentially a championship, so they might just be a piece or two away, and maybe they'll find those pieces in this draft. But also league-wide, how the draft may affect Super Bowl odds. That's always an interesting, the futures market there to watch.
Yes, the futures market. How many wins will the Lions have? I think it was 9.5 last year, or 10, and they made it to 11 or 12? 12?
12. Should have been 13, but in Dallas they have special rules.
Yeah, it's true. All right, back to local sports. We'll start with some softball. Some funny things happened there last week. Trenton did something that they hadn't done since 2015.
Nearly a decade. Yeah, Trenton earns a historic win versus Allen Park in the latest battle of state-ranked rivals. It was a 5-1 victory. Marty?
We have some film of that.
Oh, yeah.
The Michigan High School Athletic Association. There they are, acting like they just won the World Series.
Feels amazing having trust in
but
my
hey,
teammates. After that
all
tough
I
loss
can say
Tuesday, we
is,
came out
you know,
strided, and here we are.
There's
Big
this
W.
issue playing while we're talking.
What does it mean
That's
beating
all I can
Allen
say
Park?
is that, you know, Allen
Whew,
Park
a lot. We
having
practice
not,
every day. Blood,
beat
sweat,
them.
tears, everything.
Allen Park's
Came out
had
strong.
strong teams for the
We
last
have confidence
decade.
in ourselves.
So there's a
You
lot
had
of
a big
teams
double
on
in
that
this
list
game.
haven't
Just
beat
talk about
them
your
since
performance.
15.
Yeah.
I
we
think
might
that
be
our
one of
game
them.
on Carlson was a
I
turning
think
point for us that
anytime
made us hungry and want
in
to come out
any
here
league,
even stronger.
If the team's beaten
Succeed
you
in
that
big
many
moments, and I
times,
strive
when you
like
finally
to
beat
succeed
them,
under pressure.
you-
So I
it's
feel
a
like we
big
all under
emotional
pressure
release.
succeeded and poked away when we
Celebrate
needed
like
to.
that.
We talked a lot about failure recovery and playing for the person next to you, so I think we did that today, and we came together and took a big win.
And talk about your pitcher's performance today.
She's a queen. She did amazing. We had her back. We kept poking away, even if she let up one hit, so hit, we would get back right for her.
Yep, our goal was to win the inning, and she pitched it amazing. We had her back and came out with the win. Yeah, Annie.
Trenton just came off a trouncing. They got rolled by Gibraltar Carlson 10-5, you know, and then they beat Allen Park after that. So that's interesting to say the least.
Oh, I mean, that's why they have the expression in sports. They don't play the games on paper.
That's right.
Got to get up and play that game.
And the other team really rolling in this whole division is Woodhaven. Woodhaven is on a 7-game winning streak. They just shut out Roosevelt 10-0, 5-inning game. I don't know how many hits Roosevelt got, but our Lady Bears are 3-2 as of yesterday. They did lose. Oh, they're 3-3 now as of yesterday. They lost to Carleton 6-4. So that's competitive compared to Allen Park Trenton losing to them 10-5.
Is that still sort of the prevailing notion that the most difficult thing to do in sports is to hit a professional softball pitch?
Well, softball or baseball, softball, them girls can bring it these days. And in the college level, same thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, ESPN will show college games, and them girls smack the ball all over the place. If you don't have a good defense behind you, that's what burned Roosevelt here in the 10-0 shutout was, according to the coach, plenty of missed opportunities to catch the ball. And even at the pro level, you give them an extra out, you give them 2 extra outs in an inning, they're scoring some runs.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's played even rec league softball, if you can't field the ball, if you can't catch in the outfield, you're done.
I remember taking over on my ex-wife's team when they were all kids. It was even before we were married, and I think. And they're playing rec softball, and they go in and they're a brand new team. So the rules back then was you had to play A-ball. And some of these girls were girls from Lincoln Park I graduated with, you know, and then we get into this whole rec league thing. They get slaughtered the first year. They don't have a win. And then no one will coach them. So I get in the B division. I gave them all a ball, and they threw it to me, and they ran. And I launched it in the air. And they had to learn to run it. These are adult women, 20-year-old women. And they had to learn to catch it when it went in the air. And they got so tired of running back and forth. But you know what? We were a 500 team the next year because when the ball went up, somebody caught it.
You got to get those easy outs.
Right. Extra outs will kill you. And I
Yeah.
did the same in my rec league history with the boys and the girls. Make sure I had 14 baseballs, throw it to coach and run. Now, the kids that were really good, I'd throw it at them. But the kids that it would have hurt them, I'd float it up there. We called them puppies. I'd throw them a puppy, and they'd catch it.
You know, that we call it a softball, but it is nothing close to being soft.
Nothing.
You ever been hit with a softball at full speed?
Yes.
It will take you off your feet. I was once hit so hard, it was kind of a comedy of errors. The ball dipped. I was playing second base. The ball dipped on me at the last second, hit off my left leg like a pinball, shot to my right leg, took both my legs out. I pirouetted to the ground. I've never been hit so hard.
Yeah, the ones that girls use, man, that's not no softball.
No.
That is not no. At least when you play in the slow pitch, it's a little bigger and it's a little
Right,
softer.
yeah.
And now the bats make it go 100 miles an
Yeah.
hour when they hit it. Anyway, so the Bears, Lady Bears are 3-3, and they're next up. They're playing tomorrow, Lincoln Park, And then after that, they got back-to-back. They're going to play Thursday. They're playing Taylor. And I'm just going to call 2 victories right there. I'm putting the money on I'm putting the money on the Bears.
They
the
frown
Lady
upon
Bears.
that, in
I
high
know.
school sports.
High school sports, yeah, you can get in trouble for wagering. No wagering. I know guys that would run football cards when I was in high school.
Well, hey, if there's a will, there's a way, No
one ever hit them. Every once in a while. Yeah, so what's up next? We got softball taken care of. We got, our boys baseball. What is our boys baseball team doing here? Let me see. They beat Carlson 10-8 2 days ago. That was a good mix. Where else we at? Oh, they lost 11-1 to Anchor Bay. That's not good. And then 12-2 to Woodhaven. That's 6-inning game. So it looks like the Wyandotte boys, we'll get a record for you. Beat Utzel Ford 7-0. So it looks like they might be off to like a 2-4 start, somewhere in that range. We'll get a hold of the coach. We'll get a hold of the AD. Before next week, I'll get a hold of Mr. Schley and figure out how we're doing. Because soccer's going on too, track's going on. So
Well, one season that's wrapped up is, of course, hockey, but a little bit of news out of Trenton. They had 2 players, Liam Summit and Boston Bennett, teammates. They signed a national letter of intent to play ice hockey at Northwood University.
Northwood, I know right where that is. My buddy Dave went to Northwood.
College hockey doesn't get enough attention. A lot of, most of the attention goes to college football and college basketball with March Madness. But, Michigan and Michigan State both have very good programs right now. Of course, Michigan won the national championship last year, and they were in the thick of it. They were in the Frozen Four this year, ultimately bowed out to Boston College, who was the team I thought was going to win it because they have several bona fide NHLers who've already been drafted. But they fell to, was it the University of Denver?
Yes.
Which I was shocked to find out Denver has the most titles in NCAA history.
In hockey?
10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was shocked to learn that.
I remember coaching hockey, and one of the coaches for the other team, he went to every Final Four. That was his thing. They would go every year, and this is probably way before they were as popular and as wild, and as expensive to travel and all that. But we're talking back in the 80s. And he said, oh, that's what we do. I ran into him at a Wings game, and he was like, oh, yeah, I go to the Final Four every year. He said, it's a blast.
Yeah.
And it would be. I have letters of intent also, and it's another couple teammates, Riverview's Brooklyn Poe and Audrey Cole, a couple of volleyball players from Riverview. They signed letters of intent to play volleyball at Oakland Community College, which, hey, it's not where you play. It's as long as you get to do something you love. I got no, look at Oakland. Isn't that the same? No, that ain't the same Oakland College, is it? That was in the NCAA and pulled the upset?
I think it was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
In Woodhaven, Adalia Name signs on to run cross country at Adrian College.
Ah. Yeah, and we have the website, Local Sports Wrap Up at Gmail. If that could stay up like for the whole show, that'd be great. Anyway, that's where you get a hold of us. Tell us about your kids signing. We'll dig out as much information as we can from the News Herald and various other MCAA, sites. But if you can tell us, tell us. First golf meet of the year went down. First tournament of the season for the Downriver League. I believe they run 4 actual all schools get together kind of thing. Trenton. We're going to have to start saying Trenton instead of Woodhaven. They came out first, and second place was Carlson. So apparently our Wyandotte boys, I believe they were a 6th place finish. But the 2 low scores on that golf round, they played at Riverview Highlands, this first one, and 76. Woodhaven's Billy Sennett and Trenton's Liam Basner. Both shot 76s, 4 over par. which at Riverview, that's all right. That's a good score. You can't hard to lose the ball. I mean, at Riverview. It's hard to lose the ball there. Did I say what happened? Did I say Riverview?
I'm not sure. But I guarantee you I could lose a ball there.
Oh yeah.
Guarantee it.
There's some tight holes on the back, the red 9, definitely. But the way these kids bomb it now, they always have a wedge in their hand. You know, I'm lucky to get 220 out of my drives now. It is what it is.
That's nature, you know.
Yeah.
I have to imagine this time of year. Athletic director for Roosevelt, Mike Schley, was on town last week, and I would put money that this is the worst time of year for an athletic director. The weather is just so inconsistent. Trying to get these games in and having to reschedule, between baseball, softball, golf.
Buses. Let's just
Yeah.
start with buses to get kids everywhere. You know, it happens that they don't show up. Yes, Mr. Slay also had to interview me and give me my end of the year evaluation on the bowling.
Yeah.
Mr. Sikora is going to have his done later this week. He might have had it done yesterday, but I don't think so because he signed the over 50 PBA tour event is in Jackson this week. You can go to bowl.com and watch it. But anyway, Jerry, today is the first round. Yesterday was practice. And he bowled states with me last Saturday and Sunday. He threw the ball pretty good. Not the first day, though. I said, you better figure out what you're doing. You're going to go bowl against these, the pros. But he threw it really good on Sunday. And so he was tuning himself up for, they got to bowl 12 games today of qualifying, and then 6 more games tomorrow of qualifying. And then they go into the top 32 or whatever, got to bowl another 24 games. Yeah, so he better be ready.
When you bowl that much in a single day or a weekend, what are you doing? What steps do bowlers take to protect their fingers? Because it's got to be war raw if you're not doing something, right?
The PBA World Series of bowling was just at Thunder Bowl. They bowled for 2 weeks straight, 2.5 weeks straight. And they had a lot of guys tape.
Okay.
They've got the flexible tape.
Yeah.
I've used it, and you just make your finger holes big enough so it fits with the tape. Because we bowled 9 games this weekend, and I could feel it. I could feel it in my fingers that they were starting to get tender. Had I had to go longer, I would have had to figure something out. But I don't bowl a lot. These guys, that's all they do. So you'll see them all taped up before they even start. Their thumbs covered, their hands covered, and they throw the heck out of the ball. I will say that. I was glad I got to go down there and see it. Because years before I didn't get a chance. But I got one more softball thing to talk about. Cabrini, local team, they're 5-0 in the Catholic League right now. They did a doubleheader sweep. Their last 2 wins were a doubleheader sweep of Cardinal Mooney on Monday. So Cabrini, another local team that is generally strong when it comes to softball and sports in general.
Well, again, where money goes, success tends to follow.
That is true, sir.
No.
That is very true. They do charge admission for that school. So if you can offer someone a scholarship who has a good habit of filling the basket or a good habit of putting the puck in the net or, can pitch like a dream, you'll make you better.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? We got the News Herald released their all first team all basketball, boys and girls. There's the girls. Leading the way, I'm just going to say there was one Roosevelt Bear in that mix. He was a 4-year senior, and he was, wrong page, Jonah Sadler. And Jonah was from Roosevelt. He averaged 17 points a game. He started the year with a 41-game effort against Grosse Ile. And I will say that he was a 4-year starter on varsity, 4-year varsity player. The big dog for the boys was Kashawn Fisher of Rouge. He averaged 25 points a game, and he had a 40% accuracy from three-point land.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he's a senior. He reclassified to the class of 2025. So he's got another year in Rouge. How do you do that? Reclassify.
My guess would be that you don't have the credits to graduate. Maybe.
Maybe, or the COVID year gives you.
Possibly, yeah.
But they
maybe.
still played sports during. Well, no, basketball got canned. Well, no, it didn't really.
It was at the very end of the basketball season.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The tournament.
Got canceled, yeah.
So who else locally? Riverview's Nick Sobish I got for the boys. I got Taylor's Trillium's Kimarian Fishburne. And another local kid on here, Lincoln Park's Sean Bailey. And Riverview's Luke Westerdale. Those are some of the local kids that made the News Herald's all team for the boys.
On
Those are two-sided, sorry.
girls' side, no, that's okay. So how many we got total here? Oh, this is a whole roster. This isn't just a starting lineup.
No. It's all the girls that were selected.
Okay. Grozeal, Kaylee Wright, averaged 14 points per game, shot 35%.
From
beyond the arc,
That somebody will be looking at her.
From Romulus, Samara Cersei led her team in scoring. Gibraltar Carlson, Abigail Carafelli, she averaged 13.2 points per game, 7.1 rebounds.
Nice.
Fixture there on that team.
Very nice.
Romulus Summit Academy North, Michaela Cook. From New Boston Huron, Leela Clements, 5 rebounds per game. Taylor Prep, Anaya Gladney, 23.5 points per game. Also led in assists and steals. From Riverview, Gabriel Richard, McKenna Jarrett, led her team in scoring, 14
Seems
points
to
per
be
game.
a pattern coming there that all the leading scorers. get
Rebounds, assists, yeah. Elizabeth Henniger from Brownstown Woodhaven, 12 and nearly 13 points per game, nearly 6 rebounds per game. And then rounding it out from Flat Rock, Madeleine Hussein. From Riverview, Brooklyn Poe, is her brother on the boys' side, I believe. We just read that last name.
I think so.
Trenton, Emily Chappelle, and a few others here. Allen Park Inner City Baptist.
Strong
Madeline
team.
Frank.
You know, one thing about Inner City Baptist, they made the Final Four at 3 out of the last 5 seasons, and they've gotten to the Final 8. I think 5 out of the last 5 seasons. So they're a strong unit too.
It 3 names left. Brianna Thomas from Trenton. She's a Davenport University signee and finished just 14 points shy in her high school career of 1,000 points.
Wow.
Romulus Karma Jones-Johnson averaged over 15 points per game. And last but not least, Allen Park Cabrini's Caitlin Jabzensky, who averaged as well 15 points per game.
Nice. So we have one announcement about Flat Rock's Yancey. His name is Yancey. Last name is Yancey. Threw a no-hitter. I only have that information. I do not have what day, but it doesn't matter. If you throw a no-hitter in baseball, you're doing pretty good. You'll get the attention of a lot of people. Steve Avery used to throw a lot of no-hitters. Now, I got a story about him. That's how you get a hold of us, localsportswrapup@gmail. Kids would cheer. I umpired. I umpired right out of playing ball at 25. I got done playing ball at 25, and I started umping. I got into Little League, and I got into high school. And kids, they used to cheer when they fouled the ball off. They would play schools. It would be Taylor Kennedy back then. And if they were playing somebody, he'd be mowing them down. And somebody would get a foul ball, and the kids on the bench would be cheering that they got a piece of it. Because he could bring it. He could bring it like no other. And you just weren't used to seeing that. And Trenton had a kid, too, J.J. Stutz or Putz. And he made it up there to the pros, too. Them guys just learned how to bring it. And Kaiser ran that clinic with Bob Ambrose over there in Riverview. My daughter went there, learned how to hit. But Kaiser taught a lot of kids how to pitch,
And it's a crying shame that Steve Avery was drafted by the Tigers and then traded before he really made a name for himself.
True, but he also was traded for a pitcher that helped them clinch it. Didn't he get Doyle Alexander from the Braves? Yes, and they sent. Yes, he was a talent. He could hit too. I mean, he was a good player. And even back then, they really cautioned, because I remember doing ball games in the Legion ball too,
Yeah.
and them saying, Steve, can you go today? And he'd go, no, because he knew his future, where his future was.
Yeah.
He was no dummy.
That was the funny thing in Little League. Typically, the best pitchers, they were amongst the best hitters on the team. And of course, you get to the Major League level, at least in the American League, pitchers don't bat.
Yeah, that's all going bye-bye now. They're all going to have DHs.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, and we do have to wrap up, anything special going on this week? You work a lot here.
Yeah.
Joel's in charge of this whole place, basically. He's makes sure we get our show done, in and out of here on time. And sometimes we're not on time.
Yeah, that's
and
the
we make
nature
him
of
work
TV
overtime.
production sometimes.
He doesn't get any money for his overtime either.
That is
those
true.
Salaried employees.
That is too true. Nothing much sports related. On one studio note, we are getting a new TriCaster. That is the piece of equipment that all of our AV is routed through.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get a new TriCaster on Friday.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. And then you got to learn how to use it, or you already know?
Well, we currently have a TriCaster in there. It's an upgraded model.
Oh,
so
okay.
Won't be much of a learning curve now.
He's speaking French right now for all the rest of us. One last thing as we wrap up, Ken should be back next week. If not, we'll see what we can do. We have Parker Quisenberry on the Unified Track Meet. We're going to see a highlight of him at the end of this show for the win.
There it is.
There he is right there. Parker's running his heart out, and that is for the win at the track meet that was held for the Unified students. And there's his highlight. I'm Marty Chinesky. That's Joel Atkins, or as we like to call him, Odds Jones. He's got the inside scoop on a lot of things. Between him and Ken, I've learned a lot over the last couple of years. We'll see you later. Hi, Mom. And don't forget to watch us. Send us your info. Let us know what your kids are doing. Thanks for watching.